Art- Article 15. Alternative circumstances. Alternative circumstances are those which must be taken into consideration as aggravating or mitigating according to the nature of and effect of the crime in the other condition attending its commission. They are the relationship, intoxication, and the degree of instruction and education of the offender. The alternative circumstances of the relationship shall be taken into consideration when the offended party in the spouse, ascendant, descendant, legitimate, natural or adopted brother or sister, or relative by infinity in the same degrees of the offender. The intoxication of the offender shall be taken into consideration as a mitigating circumstance when the offender has committed a felony in state of intoxication if the same is not habitual or subsequent to the plan to commit said felony, but when the intoxication is habitual or intentional, it shall be considered as aggravating circumstances. Alternative circumstance. Those which must be taken into consideration as aggravating or mitigating according to the nature and effect of the crime and other condition attending its commission. There are relationship taken taken into consideration when offended party is the spouse, ascendant, descendant, legitimate, natural or adopted brother or sister, or relative by infinity in the same degree of the offender. Intoxication. Mitigating when the offender has committed a felony in the state of intoxication if the same is not habitual or subsequent to the plan to commit the same felony. Aggravating is habitual or intentional. Number 3. Degree of instruction, education of the offender. Relationship. Mitigating circumstance. In a crime against property, robbery, usurpation, fraudulently, insolvency, arson. Aggravating circumstance. In, a, in crime against person. In cases where the offender or when the offender in the offended party are relatives of the same level as killing a brother, adopted brother, or half brother, always aggravating in the crimes against chastity. Relationship. Exception Article 332 of CC. No criminal liability, civil liability only for the crime of theft, swindling, or malicious mischief committed or caused mutually by spouses, ascendants, descendants, or relatives by infinity. Also brothers, sisters, brothers-in-law, or sister-in-law, if living together, it becomes a exempting circumstance. Relationship neither mitigating or aggravating when the relationship is element of the offense. Example, parricide, adultery, convenance. Intoxication, mitigating circumstance. A. Intoxication is not habitual. B. If intoxication is not subsequent to the plan to commit felony. Aggravating circumstance. A. If intoxication is habitual, such habit must be actual and formed. B. It is intentional subsequent to the plan to commit a felony. Must show that he has taken such quantity so as to blur his reason and deprive him of a certain degree of control. A habitual drunkard is given to inebriety or the excessive use in intoxication drinks. Habitual drunkenness must be shown to be an actual and confirmed habit of the offender, not but not necessary of daily occurrence. Degree of instruction and education. Mitigating circumstance. Low degree of instruction, education, or the lack of it, because he does not fully realize the consequence of his criminal act, not just mere illiteracy but lack of intelligence. Aggravating circumstance. High degree of instruction and education. Offender avails himself of his learning in committing the offense. Determined by the court must consider the circumstance of a lack instruction, exemption, not mitigating. 1. Crimes against property. 2. Crimes against chastity, rape included. 3. Crime of treason. Take note of the abbreviation JME AE Article 11 to 15.